Hello again, friends. As I was looking for a new story for this week, I made, for me, a new discovery. Peter Christian Asbjornsen and Jorgen Edbretson Moe were Norwegian folklorists in the same vein as the Grimm brothers. In fact, these are the men who saved East of the Sun, West of the Moon, which is one of my favorite fairy tales. So I thought, let's look at what other tales they wrote down. So join me now as we read The Three Princesses in Whiteland. Once upon a time there was a fisherman who lived near the king's castle and caught fish for the king's table. One day when he had gone fishing, he could not catch a thing. Try as he might, no matter how he baited or flung, not the tiniest fish would bite. But when this had gone on for a while, a head rose from the water and said, "If you will give me the first new thing that has come into your house, you shall catch fish a-plenty." Oh, don't do this. This is so clearly a trap. Then the man agreed, quickly, for he could think of no new thing that might have come into the house. So he caught fish all day long, and as many as he could wish for, as may well be imagined. But when he got home he found that heaven had sent him a little son, the first new thing to come into the house since he had made his promise. Did he not notice his wife was pregnant? Or did someone just leave a baby on his doorstep in a basket? And when he told his wife about it, she began to weep and wail, and pray to God because of the vow her husband had made. And the woman's grief was reported at the castle, and when it came to the king's ears, and he learned the reason, he promised to take the boy and see if he could not save him. "How is this better? They still lose a son."
Wait. Idea to cheat it. Because obviously the wife could not have been pregnant previously, or else you would have realized. So it's a basket. The first new thing to enter the house is a basket.
Ooh, I like this idea.
Basket enters before the child. The basket is the new thing.
This works. And so the king took him, the kid, not the basket, and brought him up as though he were his own, until he was grown. Then one day the boy asked whether he might not go out fishing with his father. He wanted to so very much, said he. The king would not hear of it, but at last he was given permission. Nope, never. Have fun. So he went to his father, and everything went well all day long until they came home in the evening. Then the son found he had forgotten his handkerchief, and he went down to the boat to get it. But no sooner was he in the boat than it moved off with a rush, and no matter how hard the youth worked against it with the oars, it was all in vain. Hello.
The son realized he forgot his handkerchief, but being a prince, it didn't matter to get a new one, thus avoiding the rest of the story.
I don't think you like this story.
She thought it was the Three Princesses of Winter, which sounds so much cooler than Whiteland.
I'm so sorry. Can I finish reading?
No.
I love you too. And no matter how hard the youth worked against it with the oars, it was all in vain. The boat drove on and on all night long, and at last he came to a white strand, far, far away. He stepped ashore, and after he had gone a while, he met an old man with a great white beard. "What is this country called?" asked the youth. "Whiteland," was the man's answer, "because we have no creativity at all here. Get used to it." And he asked the youth where he came from and what he wanted, and the latter told him. "If you keep right along the shore," said the old man, "you will come to 3 princesses buried in the earth so that only their heads show. Then the first will call you, and she is the oldest, and beg you very hard to come to her and help her, and the next will do the same. But you must go to neither of them. Walk quickly past them, and act as though you neither saw nor heard them. But go up to the third, and do what she asks of you. for then you will make your fortune. Wow, that seems bad. When the youth came to the first princess, she called out to him and begged him most earnestly to come to her. But he went on as though he had not seen her, and he passed the next one in the same manner, but went over to the third. It's a miracle! He followed instructions! If you will do what I tell you to, you shall have whichever one of us you want, said she. Yes, he would do what she wanted. So she told him that 3 trolls had wished them into the earth where they were, but that formerly they had dwelt in the castle he saw on the edge of the forest. You must go to the castle and let the trolls whip you one night through for each one of us, said she, and if you can hold out, you will have delivered us. Yeah, well, good luck with that. I'm out. Yes, said the youth, he could manage that. When you go in, added the princess, you will find 2 lions standing by the door, but if you pass directly between them, they will do you no harm. Says you. Go on into a dark little room and lie down, and then the troll will come and beat you. But after that you must take the bottle that hangs on the wall and anoint yourself where he has beaten you, and you will be made whole again. And take the sword that hangs beside the bottle and kill the troll with it. And the troll is just going to allow this to happen? He did as the princess had told him, passed between the lions as though he did not see them, and right into the little room where he lay down. The first night a troll with 3 heads and 3 whips came and beat the youth badly, but he held out, and when the troll had finished, he took the bottle and anointed himself, grasped the sword, and killed the troll. Yeah, don't mind me, I'll just stand here until you feel better so you can kill me. When he came out in the morning, the princesses were out of the ground and up to their waists. The next night it was the same, but the troll who came that time had 6 heads and 6 whips, and beat him worse than the first one. But when he came out in the morning, the princesses were out of the ground up to their ankles. The third night came a troll who had 9 heads and 9 whips, and he beat and whipped the youth so severely that at last he fainted. Then the troll took him and flung him against the wall.
Interrupting.
Yes?
So the troll has 9 heads and 9 whips.
Yes.
Is he holding 1 whip in each mouth?
Yes. Yes, he is.
Does he have 9 hands?
No, he uses his mouth. He's a mouth whipper. Have you ever heard of a tongue lashing? And as he did so, the bottle fell down, and its whole contents poured over the youth, and he was at once sound and whole again. So was the troll trying to help him, or was that just really bad luck for the troll? Then he did not delay, but he grasped the sword, killed the troll, and when he came out in the morning, the princesses were entirely out of the ground. So he chose the youngest of them to be his queen, and lived long with her in peace and happiness. So you're just going to rule this new land with your new wife and not even send a letter home. A bit rude, don't you think? But that was a great... Oh, wait. There's more here. But at last he was minded to travel home and see how his parents fared. This did not suit his queen, but since he wanted to go so badly and finally was on the point of departure, she said to him, "One thing you must promise me. You will only do what your father tells you to do, but not what your mother tells you to do." Well, I'm sure that will go over really well with his parents. And this he promised. Then she gave him a ring which had the power of granting 2 wishes to the one who wore it, so he wished himself home, and his parents could not get over their surprise at seeing how fine and handsome he had become, or the way he just appeared out of nowhere. When he had been home a few days, his mother wanted him to go up to the castle and show the king what a man he had grown to be. His father said, no, he had better not do that, for we will have to do without him in the meantime. But there was no help for it. The mother begged and pleaded until he went. See, I knew that was a bad idea. When he got there, he was more splendidly dressed and fitted out than the other king. This did not suit the latter, and he said, you can see what my queen looks like, but I cannot see yours, and I do not believe yours is as beautiful as mine. God grant me she were standing here, then you would see soon enough, said the young king. And there she stood that very minute. But she was very sad, and said to him, why did you not follow my advice and listen to your father? Now I must go straight home, and you have used up both of your wishes. With that she bound a ring with her name on it in his hair, and wished herself home. Then the young king grew very sad, and went about it day in, day out, with no other thought than getting back to his queen. I must try and see whether I can find out where Whiteland is, thought he, and wandered forth into the wide world. I'm actually pretty sure that's Vermont. After he had gone a while, he came to the hill, and there he met one who was the lord of all the beasts of the forest, for they came when he blew his horn. And him the king asked where Whiteland was. That I do not know, said he, but I will ask my beasts. Then he called them up with his horn, and asked whether any of them knew where Whiteland might be. But none of them knew anything about it.
Yeah, I know that place. That sounds like Vermont.
Then the man gave him a pair of snowshoes. Right, we're playing the pronoun game. I'm naming our main character. I will call him
Bob.
Alan.
Alan! 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 Al! Alan!
Then the man gave Alan a pair of snowshoes. If you stand in them, said he, you will come to my brother, who lives 100 miles further on. He is the lord of the birds of the air. Ask him. When you have found him, turn the snowshoes around so that they point this way, and they will come back home of their own accord. When Alan got there, he turned the snowshoes around, as the lord of the beasts had told him, and they ran home again. Alan asked about Whiteland, and the man called up all the birds with his horn, and asked whether any of them knew where Whiteland might be, but none of them knew. Long after the rest, an old eagle came along, and he had been out for some 10 years, but he did not know either. Well, said the man, I will lend you a pair of snowshoes. When you stand in them, you will come to my brother, who lives 100 miles further on. He is the lord of all the fishes in the sea. Ask him, but do not forget to turn the snowshoes around again. Alan thanked him, stepped into the snowshoes, and when he came to the one who was lord of all the fishes in the sea, Alan turned them around, and they ran back like the others. There Alan once more asked about Whiteland. The man called up his fishes with his horn, but none of them knew anything about it. At last there came an old carp, whom he had called with his horn only at the cost of much trouble. When he asked him, the carp said, Yes, I know it well,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I saw that last week in Vermont.
for I was a cook there fully 10 years. Tomorrow I have to go back again, because our queen, whose king has not come home again, is going to marry someone else. If such be the case, said the man, I'll give you a bit of advice. Out there by the wall, 3 brothers have been standing for the last 100 years, fighting with each other about a hat, a cloak, and a pair of boots. Anyone who has these 3 things can make himself invisible and wish himself away as far as ever he will. You might say that you would test their possessions and then decide their quarrel for them. Then Alan thanked him and did as he said. Why do you stand there fighting till the end of time? Said Alan to the brothers. Let me test your possessions if I am to decide your quarrel. That suited them, but when Alan had hat, cloak, and boots, he told them, I will give you my decision the next time we meet, and with that he vanished himself far away. While he was flying through the air, he happened to meet the North Wind. Good Lord! Are we sure this wasn't written by Hans Christian Andersen? There are so many tangents! And where are you going? Asked the North Wind. To Whiteland, said the king. And then Alan told the North Wind what had happened to him. Well, said the North Wind, you are traveling a little quicker than I am, for I must sweep and blow out every corner. But when you come to your journey's end, stand upon the steps beside the door, and then I'll come roaring up as though I were going to tear down the whole castle. And when the prince who is to have the queen comes and looks out to see what it all means, I'll just take him along with me.
Kidnapping!
That is an unexpected turn of events. Shouldn't Alan just have to pull a really strong bow or move a bed that's built into the house or something? The king did as the North Wind told him. He stationed himself on the steps, and when the North Wind came roaring and rushing up and laid hold of his castle walls till they fairly shook, and the prince came out to see what it was all about. But that very moment Alan seized him by the collar and threw him out, and the North Wind took him and carried him off. When he had borne him away, Alan went into the castle. At first the queen did not recognize him, for he had grown thin and pale because he had wandered so long in his great distress. But when he showed her the ring, she grew glad at heart. And then they had a wedding, which was such a wedding that the news of it spread far and wide.
Weren't they already married?
It was a renewal of vows.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that was, it was a story. It was, definitely a story. Has all the elements, a beginning, a middle, a fake-out ending, followed by a lot of tangents, and then an abrupt end, an undeserved happy ending. Yep, a story for sure. Why do I do this to myself? We have come to the point where I ask for your help. Please like my video, because I need validation, and possibly a vacation. And comment, because I really love to hear from you. And please tell a friend about us. And if your friend seems interested, maybe you can share this video with them, if you want. And if you haven't already, there is a notification bell, so you can know when I put out my videos on Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. I would like to thank Pixabay.com and its contributors for all the wonderful things found there to help make my channel better, including music, videos, sound effects, and art. I would like to encourage all of my friends to join my Patreon page, and if you're unable or disinclined to make a monetary subscription, fear not. There is a free member option, and I am doing my best to post information and fun polls to all my friends, moral supporters included. I also have Facebook and Instagram if you want. But more than anything, I would like to thank you, my dearest friends, for once again spending this time with me. I cannot thank you enough. And now a special thank you from my Patreon friends.